I will try it. Yeah, now I'm recording it. And yeah, so what we will do now, yeah, so first we'll understand how to share the subscription. So, Anumeha, is it possible for you to share your screen so that we can go to your subscription and then add Aniket as a user in that?
Yeah.
I will allow
I'll,
you. Yeah, please share your screen.
yeah. 1 minute.
So first we will add Aniket as a user in the subscription, and then we will proceed to see, like, I will just show you the whole process how I'm doing it, and then I will try to explain each one of the step which I took so that it's clear for everyone.
Can you all see my screen?
Not right now, it's coming. Yeah, now I'm able to see your screen. Now please give me the control so that I can control your screen.
Yeah. Um,
I've requested the control. 1 second, I will request again. Yeah. Now suppose Anumeha created a subscription. This is the subscription which Anumeha created, and I will just check it if it looks fine. Yeah, the free trial subscription she created. Now let's go to the home. Now I will type intra. What is this Microsoft Intra ID? It is just like a directory where um, the authorization and authentication happens in like portal. So all sort of authorization and authentication of Microsoft, particularly Azure, will be taken care over here. Okay. So this is the tenant. Uh, and what is tenant? Tenant you can understand as an organization. So suppose once Anumeha logged in into Azure from portal.azure.com, she is a part of this particular tenant. Okay, so the organization ID, suppose Microsoft treats each of the customer as one organization. So suppose once Anumeha created this particular logged into portal.azure.com with her email ID, Microsoft given her a organization under which she can work. It is not necessary she needs to take a subscription for it. Like once she logged in, she is automatically a organization and Microsoft given a tenant to her. Okay. Now, before giving Aniket a subscription, we need to add Aniket as a user of this tenant. That is what we need to do. I will add as an external user. Aniket, can you send your email ID over a chat? Yeah. Hello, Aniket. Aniket, are you there? I am not able to hear you. If you're saying something, you're mute. You're on mute. Okay. Hello. Okay, fine. Like, what I will do, I will try to add me so that I can show you the process. Suppose I want to, and similarly, Anumeha can add Aniket as well. I think he's busy somewhere. Okay, fine. So I will add me as a user over here. Okay. So display name is Abhishek. I can type the welcome message and all of that, and then CC my manager, all sort of thing I can do, but I'm not doing all those things. I'm just inviting myself as a user to um okay, fine, no problem. So Aniket just written in the chat that he has a issue with the microphone. No problem. We'll proceed, and then Anumeha can uh, follow the same procedure. And anyways, we are recording it. Okay, so we can go and then see how I'm doing it. So currently, the first step is to be a part of Anumeha organization. Then we will share the subscription. Okay, so like she's inviting me and then sent an invitation to me. Then let me check if I have received the invitation. 1 second. I'm checking if I received the invitation. Then I will share the screen and just show you guys how my invitation looks. Okay. Yeah. So she's invited me and I received the invitation. I'm sharing my screen to show how the invitation looks. Yeah, so once a particular person invited you, you will get this kind of email. Default directory invited you to access application within their organization. And then you can see the domain name. You can see like this invitation, and then I am accepting the invitation. I accepted the invitation, and now I'm logging in. That's all. Like the invitation has been accepted. Like it will go to this tab which show you all the application, but I will go to my portal.azure.com. I will try to refresh it. And I think I am in the Anumeha subscription right now. Let me check. And to check it, I will go to Intra ID again to check in which organization I am working. I am going to in the Intra ID, same procedure which we followed. I am going to the Intra ID and then I am going to manage tenant. Probably I am in a different like tenant right now. So yeah, so I am in different tenant. So I am in one of my different student tenant, Vinith. But I can see the Arumeha tenant over here as well, I think, because I have accepted the invitation. See, I can see this tenant over here, right? Anumeha, Chandra, Gmail, and this tenant. Now I can click over here and go to this tenant. That is what I can do. But when you are doing it for the first time, you probably present in the same tenant, right? In the Anumeha tenant. I am switching my tenant. I am going to this tenant right now to this organization. That is what I'm doing. I'm switching my tenant. Yeah, I'm in this tenant right now, but still I think I don't have a subscription. Why? Because Anumeha haven't assigned me any subscription. Okay, she just made me a part of her tenant, right? Now Anumeha can also create multiple subscription at the same time. She can also do that. But mostly you will not do it. So then let's not worry about it. And Anumeha can also create multiple tenants. That also she can do, because then divide the subscription accordingly. That also can be possible. But currently we are just trying to understand how to make a user in the tenant and then share the subscription. Okay. Now Anumeha added me a user of her tenant, her organization, but still she haven't assigned me a she haven't made me a user of her subscription. Okay, now Anumeha will share the screen, and then I will be like, we will make myself as a user of her subscription as well. Yeah. So Anumeha, can you share your screen again? Yeah. Now please give me the control. Now I will go to subscription. I will open this. I will go to Identity Access Management, IAM, access control. I will add I will make myself as a contributor. Then I will select member. Now see, here only two people are coming, right? Anumeha and me. Why? Because these are the only people who are part of the organization. If you don't do the first step, like if you don't make a particular person a user of that organization, then we cannot perform this operation directly. We cannot just like go and add a person in a subscription directly, and it is like, yeah, so we can understand it, right? So we first make a particular person a part of our organization, then only you assign him a subscription. Okay, so we are following that manner only. We are going and adding a person at a part of our organization, then assigning him a subscription. So now I will assign myself a subscription, and then one second. By mistake, I selected both of them. Yeah, so then select, then review and assign, and then adding the role assignment. Yeah, add a role assignment has added. Now I can uh like see the subscription as well. I will share my screen and then show you guys. Yeah, so this was my window before, but now if I refresh this, I will see the subscription what I am part of, right? See here, if I go to subscription now, yeah, I can see this subscription. Why? Because I am now part of the subscription. Okay, so this is how it happens. I will try to explain again. So here we have, suppose Walmart has a tenant. Like similarly, suppose Anumeha was like Anumeha created a tenant, and she added like 3-4 user of her tenant, right? And then after that, she made, like she assigned, and she also have a subscription. Suppose she has a subscription, then she made one user a part of this subscription, and then part of this subscription, and suppose he has another subscription, then she can just play around and do that as well. So once organization comes, and then your subscription come, and then you share your subscription. This is how it happens. Okay, so if anybody needs the subscription, then probably, yeah, so if it is possible for Numeha, she can just create share the subscription with others. Okay, so Aniket, just type your email ID in the WhatsApp chat after this class, and then we will give you the subscription. Okay, okay, fine. So this is the procedure. Any doubt in the procedure? Anything which you want to ask? It's clear for everyone.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, okay, fine. So let's move forward, and then what we will do now. So in the previous class, I have given a homework to create a blob storage or a data lake Gen 2. That is what I have given as a homework. And then also I told you guys to install the MS SQL on premise. All of you has installed this MS SQL server on premise and SSMS. Who has tried to install? Yeah, Aniket has installed. Uh, Anurag, what about you? Have you installed?
Not really, Abhishek, but yes, I'll definitely work on this weekend
Okay,
only.
and Anumeha, did you install?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, fine. So we already have this with us. We have this with us, right? Both of the things are present. Now what we will do, we will use data factory. Now we'll create data factory. Then we will understand how to connect data factory with this and how to connect data factory with this and then how to copy the data. So this is the first operation which we are trying to perform. Like to copy the data from your on-premise server which you have installed in your computer, and then we have already a blob storage where we can store the data, right? So then we will make data factory which helps us to move the data from one place to another. Then we will try to move the data. So that is what we are trying to perform, but it has multiple steps, so I will try to create data factory and then elaborate one by one each and every step. Okay. Okay, fine. So how to create data factory? So I am in the Anumeha subscription, but I will go to a different subscription because I am practicing right now in that subscription. So I will try type intra ID, or I will just practice in this subscription also. That is fine for me. So yeah, so what we will do, we created a storage account already, I feel. Yeah, this is the storage account, blob, and then data lake Gen 2. So whenever you're creating a resource, ideally, this is how, this is not the way to name your resource, right? So I will share the naming convention guide, which you need to follow, because whenever you are working in an organization, there should be a naming convention, okay? So I will share the naming convention guide, which you can follow to create your resources, okay? Right now it's okay, but like necessarily when you're working in an organization, you should follow a naming convention given by Microsoft. So I will share that document, follow that particular thing so that you are in the practice of that. Okay. So here I am creating a resource group. So I will hit create. So sorry, I am creating a storage. So storage account is already there, right? So I'm not creating a storage account. I will go and create a data factory. Hit create. And I am creating a separate resource group for myself. From directly from here as well, I can create resource group, suppose KPI. So this is my project, KPI dashboarding, RG KPI resource group KPI dashboard. This is how I'm creating it. And then I am writing the name of my ADF as ADF KPI dashboard dev. So this is the dev environment. Um, and then KPI dashboard. So your naming convention should be in that manner that if a particular person in your organization, suppose if you have a big organization, ideally you will always create your resources in such a manner that if a particular person is looking at your resource, he should be able to easily understand what does it mean. So from here we can understand that this is ADF, this is for KPI dashboarding project, and as we understood, whenever we are doing a development, there is a three sort of environment: development environment, test environment, and a prod environment. So this is a development environment. The region is suppose Central India. And then version is V2. You cannot change the version. So previously Microsoft had a V1 version as well, but currently they have a V2 version. Why they can remove this option, but they are not removing it. Why? Because they might think that there are multiple version can be present, so they are not removing it. So there is only one version which we can create, V2 version. Okay. Down next tab here we will try to understand the Git later on. What is Git and how do we use it and all of that. But we will configure it later. And then networking, advanced tags, everything will be by default. We will not change anything of that sort over here. Hit create. It's deploying the resource. Yeah, now I can go to my resource group. Yeah, so ideally, yeah, showing the resource group, but I can go to my data factory. I can open this data factory, and over here you can create a separate data factory in your own resource group. So I have created my data factory in my resource group, which is this one. You can create a resource group, data factory in your own resource group. Now I am launching my
Okay.
dashboard. So this is the launch of one of the resources, right? So this is data factory. We are launching data factory now. Yeah, this is my data factory. Ideally, suppose how we are coming to data factory. We are coming to this portal.azure.com. If we are able to see this, then we can directly click on this. If not, then we will search over here data factory and then open data factory and then click on this. And then what we are doing this launch studio and then coming to this tab, right? But suppose this particular tab can be opened directly. So if you don't want to go to portal.azure.com, if you just bookmark this, then you can directly come on this as well without doing all of those steps. Yeah, so it will ask me to shine my this and then I will do all the sign up and then I can directly come on this tab. Yeah, so here, like I am working on various tenant, right? So here you can go to that particular window of Intra ID. You can see what is this ID and then you can select that tenant. I have multiple tenants, so it's showing all the tenant to me. But you can just see what in which tenant we are working and then select that over here and then hit like continue on this. So yeah, so here it is already selected. So if I click continue, I will go to that particular data factory also in this data factory, right? So this is how also you can log in. In which case we need to log in in this manner. Suppose you are working in portal.azure.com and from portal.azure.com you can access all the resources, right? You can access data factory, you can access resource group and all of that. But a company hired you as a data factory developer. So sometimes company don't want to give you all the access. They will just say that, hey, go to adf.azure.com and then access data factory directly instead of accessing all of the resources. So it rarely happens, but it happens. Okay. Now, this is the home tab. This is the author tab. What is this author tab? In the author tab, we will try to develop and create pipelines. Okay, suppose here we can create pipelines. I will try to explain all the things over here, like probably tomorrow. But here we can understand, yeah. So currently what we are trying to do, we are trying to perform this operation, right? Source to destination. So probably we are trying to copy the data. So what will be our source? Our source will be on-premise MS SQL Server, which we have installed. Sink will be data lake. That is what we need to do. How to configure this, we'll understand. Okay. But this is the tab in which you will develop the pipeline. Okay. In this is the tab where you will develop the pipeline. What is this? This is the tab where you can see your pipeline runs. So suppose if you have multiple pipelines, at what time each pipeline is getting triggered, at what time each pipeline is running, that you can see over here. What is this? This is the tab which we will understand today. Link service integration runtime. Very, very important from the interview perspective. So this is what we'll understand today. And what is this? So this is basically just a simple procedure. So suppose here we created data factory, right? Yeah, I will try to explain. So we created data factory. Now what we want to do using data factory, we want to move the data from here to here. What is this? This is our MS SQL Server on-premise, MS SQL Server on-premise. And what is this? This is your data lake Gen 2, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Now you also have data factory. Now we created data factory, right? Data factory. Now to move the data from this place to this place, what we need to connect this, right? So data factory needs to reach to this place and also this place. Then only the movement will happen, right? Similarly, if taxi driver want to pick you up from one place to another place, you need to give your source and destination to like a particular application so that the movement can happen. Similarly here, data factory needs to go over here and then go over here, and then basically the movement will happen, right? So first we'll understand how to create a link, how to basically give the address to data factory so that data factory go to on-premise server and also go to data lake and then basically move the data. So for that we have an integration runtime and then link service. First we need to think about integration runtime. Okay, what is integration runtime? Integration runtime has three types: your self-hosted integration runtime, Azure default integration runtime, and SSIS. So it has three types: Azure default integration runtime, self-hosted integration runtime, and SSIS. What is Azure default integration runtime? Azure default integration runtime is a runtime which you will use whenever you want to move the data from the cloud server, any of the cloud server. Okay, you want to move the data from or to, like suppose if you want to move the data to a cloud server, or you want to take the data from the cloud server, you will always and always use the Azure default integration runtime. So if the name is Azure default integration runtime, can we use it for Amazon offered cloud service AWS? Yes, we can use from with Amazon as well. Can we use it with GCP Google Cloud Service? Yes, we can use it. We can use it with any of the cloud service, no matter like cloud service is offered by any of the company, we can use this service. Why we are calling it as a default integration runtime? Because this integration runtime will be taken care by Azure, and once you create your space, this is the space which we created, so we can automatically see this Azure auto resolved integration runtime. This is integration runtime is same as your Azure default integration runtime. You don't need to create it. Once you create your space, it is already present. That is Azure default integration runtime. Okay. So once Anumeha will create her space, she will be also able to see this integration runtime. Okay. Now this is your Azure default integration runtime. When to use this integration runtime? It's simple. Whenever you want to move the data to or from cloud service, you will use this integration runtime. Now here, is this a default, is this a cloud service? No. Is this a cloud service? Yes. So here, which integration runtime we will use? We will use the Azure default integration runtime. We will use the Azure default integration runtime. And what is the purpose of creating this default integration runtime? It helps to make a bridge. So suppose this default integration runtime is acting like a bridge between your data factory and data lake. So it's acting as a bridge. So you can consider this default integration runtime as a bridge. So here this is acting as a bridge. So you can consider this default integration runtime as a bridge. Now, what is this Azure self-hosted integration runtime? Azure self-hosted integration runtime is a runtime which you will use to connect with any of the on-premise server or a private network. So your computer is your own private network, right? So on that particular, if you want to connect with your own computer or any of the servers, suppose Anumeha wants to move the data from my computer. So I will, Anumeha will install this self-hosted. So I will show you the procedure of it, how to use the self-hosted integration runtime and how to just do it. So here, if I want to move the data from my computer, what I will do first, I will install a software in my computer. I will click on this, hit continue, and then click on this self-hosted one, hit continue. Then suppose I am connecting with my computer. Okay. Then hit create. Then I will hit on download and install integration runtime. Now this is the window which is by default. Okay, it's not like this link is getting generated from here. So I can give this link to any of my friends. Suppose like I want to move the data from Anurag computer. I will say Anurag, hey Anurag, can you go to this link and download this software? Hit download and then hit download and then download this software. Okay. So currently I'm not downloading it because whenever it takes time. It is just like 1 GB software and my computer kinds of hangs whenever I download it because my computer is old, but you can anyways download in your computer and then do it. So this,
Abhishek,
yes.
sorry to disturb you. I just have a one question. You said like, we can use that as your default integration runtime in the on-premises side as well, right?
No,
We cannot. I missed
no,
that point. Can you please
no.
explain that?
So Azure default integration runtime will be used to connect with any of the cloud service. So to connect
Only.
with the data lake Gen 2, we will use Azure default integration runtime. And for MS SQL on-premise, so this particular, suppose this bridge has been made, right? Now I'm
Mm.
trying to explain how to connect with this service by using self-hosted integration runtime. But the default integration runtime will be always and always used to connect with a cloud service, not
Okay.
like a
Irrespective of
on-prem.
cloud provider.
Yeah, irrespective of cloud provider. Yes, you're right.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so here we will install this particular software. Suppose if I want to move the data from my computer, I will install the software in my computer. But suppose Anurag just said that, hey Abhishek, can you try to pull the data from his computer? So I will give this link to Anurag. Hey Anurag, please install this software in his computer. And then once he install, he will say that, yeah, I have installed it. Now I will show you the procedure after that. Yeah, so what we are doing, we are installing this integration runtime in the corporate firewall. This integration runtime we are trying to install, and Data Factory will try to interact with this integration runtime which we have installed, right? So these are the procedure which we have completed: new, then self-hosted, then we came into this, then download integration runtime. Once you download this and run the runner file, that this file, my laptop hang, yeah. So this file, once you run it, you will see this kind of a window. This kind of a window you will see register integration runtime. Then what I will do, I will tell to like Anurag, hey Anurag, can you just, I am giving you this key, you authenticate your integration runtime. So he will just copy this key, paste it in that bar, in this bar, in this bar, and then authenticate it, through which he installed a software, and then Data Factory, by using my Data Factory key, he authenticated that software. Now if Anurag has an active internet connection, my Data Factory will be able to interact with that software which we have installed, this software which we have installed. Okay, so like if I want to move the data from my computer, I will install the software in my computer and then copy this key, paste it over there, and then authenticate it, through which my Data Factory can basically interact with any of the software installed in any of the computer. Okay, my Data Factory will able to communicate with that software, and then I will be able to access that server. Okay, so once, like what we are doing, we are installing a software. This is the software as self-hosted integration runtime we installed in that particular server, and then authenticated so that Data Factory can interact with this particular software. Okay, then we authenticate.
We can say this runtime as like a virtual machine with some pre-installed software, maybe.
Yeah, if you can imagine it, but it's just like a software, not a virtual machine anyways, but it's the
Yeah, the
software which
background definitely needs some infrastructure.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So
all
we are
right.
installing a software and Data Factory is trying to communicate with that software.
Mm,
Okay, that is what we need
yeah.
to do.
Mm.
So yeah, so once you do this, you will be able to see this IR running. So like currently, if I close, this is unavailable, right? But if I authenticate it, this will be running. You can see that bar running. So we have two integration runtime, my PC and then this integration runtime, right? Now the question can also come that Abhishek, uh, you are able to communicate with this software, but this MS SQL which we have installed, the MS SQL which we have installed, how you will reach to this server? And you are able to connect with a cloud service anyways by using this default integration runtime, but how you will reach to Data Lake Gen 2, a storage service, right? Their link service come in. Okay, so here suppose in my computer or Anurag's computer, he has a MS SQL installed, but he can install MySQL as well. He can install, like he has a C drive as well. Suppose Anurag will say that Abhishek, try to move the data from the C drive, not from my SQL. Okay, so for all of that, once you are able to interact with a server, suppose my computer, then how to reach to a particular device present in your computer? For that, we use link service. Now we will go to link service. Suppose if I want to move the data from a SQL server installed. Okay, so I will type a SQL server over here, SQL. Yeah, so this is the MS, for MS SQL server, we will use this. Click continue. And then here we will give the server name details. So whenever you're logging into this MS SQL, you can see the server name over here. You can give the database name. You can select your username, and then you can give your Windows password if you have installed it. Okay, so these are the details you can fill in. And then here you will select your integration runtime which you have installed. Here you will use that, and then test connection. That is what you need to do. I will show you how you can connect with the Data Lake Gen 2 which we have, right? So Data Lake Gen 2, I haven't created it, but I will use the Numeha Data Lake Gen 2. So I will hit to Data Lake Gen 2. I will give this ls, link service is ls, and then Data Lake Gen 2. One second. Okay, so here I will write my select this as your default integration runtime only. Then I will select this, suppose data lake gen to this one, and then test connection. Connection successful. Why I'm testing connection? Because you can create it without testing the connection as well, because sometimes your the details which you have given over here it's not correct. Okay, so you just like test connection first, then you create it. Similarly, the same procedure will be followed with MS SQL Server on premise as well. Like so, same procedure will be followed. If any one of you has installed it, I can show it now as well. But you should also type your username of the computer and password of the computer, not the pin. Okay, so like anybody can open the MS SQL Server which they have installed, and I will try to show. Anumeha, you have installed, right? So can you show your screen so that I can show what are the details needs to be entered over there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can do that. Give me a
yeah,
minute.
please share your screen.
I have to launch CP, right?
Yeah, you need to
For
launch your
that.
MS SQL which you have installed. Then I will show what are the details needs to be entered. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, open MS SQL Server. In the search bar, you can type SSMS in the search bar.
Yeah.
Abhishek, meanwhile, I just have one more question.
Yeah.
You explain like default integration is your one and self one. What in what scenarios will you use this SSIS?
Yeah, I will explain 1 second. Uh, so you have clicked on a different like. So can you search again? Uh, 1 second,
Yeah.
Anurag, I
I
will
think I've
explain.
Yeah,
opened
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
two things.
So give me the control once again.
Yeah.
So see, this is your server name, and then you need to
Mhm.
select Windows authentication when you are like there is a two types of authentication, SQL authentication and Windows authentication. You need to select Windows authentication. Then this is your username. This is your server name. You need to select Windows authentication. Then you need to select username. Then password of your computer you need to type. So you probably know your password of the computer, not PIN, because sometimes in the Windows we log in with PIN, but we need to type the password. Okay. Then hit connect. So yeah, so I'm just telling you all the credential. Then here you will have multiple databases. And the people who are new to SQL, I will also recommend you guys one website which is W3 School, where you can go and then practice. So here you can create one database. Suppose you can use all of these databases as well, but if you want, you can create your own database. So this is by default provided database by Microsoft, but you can create your own database. Yeah. So I will just refresh this. Yeah, this SQL pool, then you can type this database in your link service and then you log in. Okay, so I have told you all the details: server name, database name, username, and password. These are the inputs required. So you write all of that and then you log in. Then you will be able to see. So suppose if if I have created a table over here, right? So suppose this is the SQL. So here there is no table, right? There is no table. Currently, there's no table, but I can create some table over here. So, Anumay, you don't have a like a SQL background, right? You don't understand SQL, right?
No.
Aniket, do you have a SQL background? Do you understand SQL? Or for you as well, I think it's new, right?
No, actually, I have a basic knowledge of SQL.
Okay, yeah. So, Anumeha, I will tell you a site from which you can understand this SQL, okay? And Anurag, what about you? I think you have a SQL background, right?
Yes, I have worked on
Okay,
SQL.
okay, fine. So, but anyway, SQL is very important. In the first class, I told you guys that this data engineering is extract, transform, and load. So we are understanding extraction part, then the transformation part, we will understand it, but like I will not teach SQL. So SQL will be learned by doing it. Okay, so I will tell you a site through which you can come here because we have a SQL server here. We can write queries. I will give you the interview question, but you need to write SQL through to learn it. And then yeah, so SQL is very important. So please focus on SQL. People will tell you that hey, you need to learn Python, you need to learn PySpark, you need to learn all of like this language. But SQL is building block of every role you go in, data analyst, data science, data engineering. In all of the role, SQL is very very important. So we will understand SQL. I guess all of us know Excel little bit, but yeah, SQL and Excel is very important. So first we'll understand SQL. Once you understand SQL, then if you can open to learn any other language, but first we'll understand SQL. Okay, create table, and I'm just creating a suppose a department table, for example. Create table department, and then ID int, and then suppose name of the department. So this is data type, but yeah, so I will give you the link through which you can understand all of these basics. I am creating a table over here. Yeah, so this table I created. I probably need to. Where is the table? Master. I created the table somewhere else. I feel 1 second. I will click over here. I created a table in different database. I feel 1 second. Yeah. So I was in the master somewhere. It is down below. I think the created table, but now it will come to this. Yeah, so you can see this DB or department. Yeah, so I'm not going into SQL much in much detail, but I will show you from where you can learn all of this. Okay. Now I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah, so here we'll type server name, database name, username, and password, and then test connection. Okay, that is what we will do. Now coming to the question which Anurag has asked, that what is this SSIS integration runtime? So before Data Factory, Microsoft has a tool which is the SSIS, which is basically a on-premise tool for data movement here and there. So we can import SSIS packages by using SSIS integration runtime. In 90% of the time, you won't be working with 95% of the time you won't be working with SSIS. I also haven't worked with SSIS packages till now. Mostly we use this Azure default integration runtime and self-hosted integration runtime. But if you want to import SSIS package from SSIS tool, then you use this integration runtime. SSIS engine, which allows you to natively execute SSIS packages. In the interview, you can directly say that you haven't worked on it. I have been saying it from so long. It doesn't matter because probably they are not also working on SSIS package. But from interview perspective, this is very, very important. It is by default very important interview question as I've been asked in many interviews. So what is data lake? What is blob storage? What is the difference between a blob storage and data lake Gen 2? Where to use all of it is very important till now. Then what is storage account? What are the types of the storage account? Then this question is very important because this is the first step, right? So people ask this question, what is integration runtime and what is link service? What is the difference between both? So just to answer this question, there are three types of integration runtime. As your default integration runtime, your self-hosted integration runtime and SSIS. Default integration runtime is being used to connect with any of the cloud service. Okay, to connect with any of the cloud service, be it Microsoft, be it Google, be it Amazon, any of the cloud service. Self-hosted integration runtime is being used to connect with any of the on-premise service. SSIS integration runtime is being used to import SIS packages. What is link service? Link service, once you connect with that server, link service is to connect with the data source. So once you reach out to my computer, which is my server, then to connect with MS SQL installed in my server, I am creating a link service. So link service is linked to that database then after that, right? That is link service. So also integration runtime is acting as a bridge. Link services then like a authentication kind of a thing to reach to that bridge, right? So yeah, so this is what a link service and integration runtime is. Now we understood. So coming to this architecture again. Yeah, so we created data factory. We understood how to connect with this, how to connect with this. Now we will understand the procedure of moving the data. Any questions till here, guys? Because it's very important. If anything is not clear, please let me know so that I can try to explain again. Okay, if everything is clear, I will try to ask a question so that I can test if you have understood everything. Now, suppose I have my computer and I have like a SQL server installed in my computer. Similar to that, I have like another computer and I have also installed MySQL in this computer. Then I do have a data lake and also I like let's give a different example. So this is my computer, my PC, and I have like suppose MS SQL, which we have installed MS SQL. And also in my PC, I installed like suppose MySQL, that also you can do. So SQL has different type. I guess you guys know about it. If you don't know about it, I will tell you. So you can install MySQL server as well. So SQL can be like SQL service is being given by a different company. Okay, so you can install MySQL, you can install MS SQL. Every SQL works in a same manner, but syntax wise here and there it's different. But yeah, it's not like you need to learn MySQL in a different manner. Okay, so it's like same. So yeah, so here if we go and then suppose I have MySQL here, MySQL. This is MySQL, just to make it more clear. This is MySQL, and then this is suppose like Anurag's computer PC, and then he also have suppose Anurag said that I want to move the data from C drive, for example, right? And how to move the data from C drive? So for C drive, we have a different, not particularly C drive from my like from your own computer. You can move the data from file server link service. So you have file server link service, file system. Sorry, I guess file system link service. This link service you can use to connect with your C drive. Okay, so you can give the host name, username, password, all of that. Sometimes it doesn't like work if you try it because like you need to share permission, or sometimes it doesn't work, but try it once if it is working for you or not. But sometimes it doesn't work, and don't waste much time if it is not working, because every computers are different, and to this host name change to be needs to be changed in certain manner and all of that. But don't waste much time on it. But you should know this is the my file system link service. If you want, I can show you that how to connect. That's not a problem. But if it works with my computer, it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't work with your computer as well, but I will try to show you, no problem. So yeah, so this is a C drive, and then this is a data lake Gen 2, data lake Gen 2, data lake Gen 2, Gen 2, and this is a blob service. Now what I want to do, I want to move the data from like suppose from here to blob service and from here to data lake Gen 2, right? That is what I want to do. Now, how many link service and how many integration runtime I need to create for this particular scenario? Yeah, one by one you can think about it, take 5 minutes, try to think about it and then give the answer. And you can tell me the procedure as well, how you will approach this. And this both of the things is being created by my subscription. Both of the things are present in my subscription. This both. Okay. If you have question, feel free to ask, but try to give the answer for this so that I can understand it's clear for you guys.
I think I can try, Abhishek, maybe.
Yeah.
I think two link service will be required for this.
And why you're saying tooling service?
Because we have got MySQL and one is file system link service,
Yes. And
right?
yeah.
So there would be two link service that is required, and I think from here if we talk about from the cloud perspective, we also need two more link services, right?
Yeah. And why
For
you said tooling service here? Like you have MySQL, you have MS SQL as well, right?
is it MySQL and MS SQL?
Yeah.
Honest. So it would be five, I think.
Yes,
Then
you have 5 link service. And how many integration runtime?
integration runtime would be two.
2 integration runtime for the PC side. So here you will install integration runtime.
Yes.
Here you will
Yes.
install integration runtime. And
Mm,
here also you'll install integration runtime.
exactly.
And then you will
And
use two
two
link
from
service over
cloud
here.
perspective. Yes, four.
Yeah. Is it clear for you, Animeha and Aniket? Are you with me? Is it clear for you guys as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, Anumeha, is it clear for you?
No.
Okay, fine. So what we will do? Yeah. So suppose this is my computer. Okay, in my computer we have MS SQL and MySQL. So what we will do first? We will first install the integration runtime in my computer. I will go over here. I will click new. I will click new. This. Click continue. Click self-hosted. Click continue. Download the software. The same procedure which we have followed. Download the software, right? Once we download the software, to connect with MySQL, I am suppose here we have data factory. Let's think about in this manner, right? This is data factory. Now this data factory will move the data. This movement and this movement needs to be done from data factory, right? So now let's try to connect with this service first. Let's try to connect with this service first, and then like data factory will try to connect with this service, right? Then only movement will happen, right? And then similarly, data factory will try to connect with this service, and then data factory will try to connect with this service, then movement will happen, right? So the movement will happen this, sorry, I will try to change my color so that it's clear. So yeah, this, and then data factory will do this movement, this, and then this. Why color is changing? But anyways, this particular data factory, this is a black sign, yeah. So here, so this moment and this moment. So what, for this moment, what we need to do, for to connect data factory with this, we will install a integration runtime over here, and then we will make two link service for MySQL, MS SQL. Okay. So once this is installed, I will create two link service for MySQL, MS SQL. I will go over here. I will type SQL, SQL, and then I will select this and then click continue and then provide all of this and create, right? Similarly, I will do it for MySQL. I will type MySQL. I will select this. I will click continue. I will provide all the detail. Then two link service I will make to connect with this part. This part. Is it clear, Anumeha, this part? So for this to connect with this my PC, I need one integration runtime, two link service. I will install my integration runtime in my computer, then I will make two link service. Is it clear? This part at least. Now, similarly, to connect with this, I will use auto resolve integration runtime and then make a link service to the blob storage, right? So here, this link service we made, right? So similarly, I can select blob storage over here, hit continue, provide all the detail, create a link service, right? Then to make this connection, we need two link service because two data source and then one integration runtime. To connect with this, one link service, one integration runtime. Similarly, when I'm going to Anurag PC, I will tell Anurag to install the software. I will give the key, my data factory key, and then authenticate. Data Anurag will authenticate. And then my data factory can interact with Anurag computer. So I will install one integration runtime here as well. And then one link service, file system link service. Similarly, one integration runtime, auto resolve integration runtime, and then one link service, data lake gen 2. So link service concept is very simple. How many data sources are there? There are like this one, sorry, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 data sources, 5 link service. Like, so very simple to think. So suppose if taxi driver needs to go to 5 addresses, right? He need link to 5 addresses so that he can go, right? So we have 5 data sources: MySQL, MS SQL, C drive, data lake gen 2, blob service. 5 data sources, 5 links. Then for integration runtime, we need to think about server wise. So how many servers are there? 1 server, 2 server, 3 third server, fourth server. So 4 integration runtime ideally, but for data lake we have only one integration runtime which we can use, right? So for everywhere, so we for answer becomes 3 integration runtime, 1, 2, and for both of them as your default integration 3, and then link service is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 link service. Is it clear, guys? Yeah. So now let's go and we'll move forward. We'll now do the simple operation of data movement, then we will end this class and then we will connect tomorrow, right? So now we understood all of it. Now we understand this particular tab and how this works. Okay, so in data factory, whenever we want to design the pipeline, there are 3 things we need to think about. Okay, what is a pipeline, what is the activity, and then what is the data set. So currently I have an operation which I want to perform, which is like copying the data from here to here. That is what I want to do, right? So this is one operation. So I will design one pipeline for it. Pipeline. And I will paste a copy data activity. This is my activity, copy data activity I'm trying to paste, which can copy my data, right? Source, we know what is my source, what is my sink. MS SQL on-premise and sink is like my data lake. But suppose I can move the data from, like, same procedure will be followed if I want to move the data from data lake to blob. Okay, if I want to move the data from data lake to blob, like suppose if I have this blob storage, I want to move the data to data lake, the same procedure will be followed. So I am trying to move the data from blob to data lake, but you can try to do it other way around as well. You can try to move from MS SQL as well. That's the same procedure will be followed, right? So what is my source? My source is data lake. What is my sink? My sink is blob. Okay. Now I need to create data set for it. What is data set? Data set is a reference point of where your data is located. So till now, we already made a link service to a data source that, yeah, MS SQL, like Anurag computer. Okay, link to the source, but still we haven't told the data which we want to pick. So similarly, suppose if you want to go from one place to another, you give the address, but application also have a person name, right? So just go to this address and then in this address pick Abhishek and then transfer him to this particular destination. So we have a link to a particular source which is a data lake, um, So here data factory will go to MS SQL, and then in MS SQL you also need to tell that, hey, move this department file which we created. Okay, so data set is a reference point of which data you want to pick in or where you want to move. Okay, so that is data set. Data set is a reference point of where your data is located or where you want to move. So here we will try to create a data set. So before that, I will try to move some data over here in the data lake so that we can try to move this data to a blob to data lake we are trying to move, right? So here I will try to like place some data set which we can try moving. I'm placing this department.csv, and this file we will try to move to like, so I'm creating a link service, data lake gen2, click continue. Now CSV file. So here let's understand what we are trying to do, right? So here in the data set, we are clicking to the new data set. We are selecting the data source, which is data lake gen2. Which file type CSV file I want to move. Then suppose data set also first copy, for example, first copy source.
So Abhishek, link service is something we can create at the time of creating the pipeline as well, right?
Yes, you can do that. Yes,
Okay.
but don't create. Suppose if you have created one link service, use that every time. So every time don't create a link service. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So now suppose, yeah, so I can browse. I think I put the file in blob. Yeah, I have put the file in the blob. So let's do it other way around. We will move the data from blob to link, blob to data link. But for blob, I don't have a link service. So I will create a link service for blob, a blob. And from here only I will create a link service. So here I will hit create. Okay, blob. And then here I can go give ls blob test connection. It looks fine. Hit create. Now I can browse my file. I can go over here, click to the input, select the department file. So we will always select first row as a header, import schema as none. Like in Excel file, your first row, like in which the name of this particular columns will be written, that I'm considering as a header. Import schema as none. Mostly we'll select this only, import schema. Like this particular option, I will try to explain you in future that how to, when to select this. But for now, always remember we will select first row as a header, import schema as none. Okay. Now, if you see this data set, okay. Now suppose, yeah, so this is the pipeline. If you click to the white space, this is the pipeline. Okay. This is the pipeline setting. You can rename your pipeline from here as well. You can rename your pipeline. This is the pipeline setting. You placed copy data activity here, and then you have a data set. So you can see this is the data set which you're creating. First blob, first copy. When you open this is the data set setting. All of here is the data set setting. Yeah, pipeline, activity, setting, and then if you open this is the data set setting. Now if you see here, I'm mentioning the detail which file I want to pick in from this link service. Pick this file. That is what we are mentioning, right? Now I am going to the sync, and then I am using the data lake gen2 CSV file, and then here suppose First copy department sync this, and then here I don't have anything over here, right? So what I will do, I will create a, from here as well you can create. It's not like mandatory that you create from there only. The data factory will create the folder directory for you and then move the file. So I'm typing department.csv. First row as a header, import schema as none. Suppose when you're creating it and you've missed this option, right? So what you can do, you can open this and then also select. So yeah, if you miss this option, you can select the first row as a header from here as well. Okay. All done. So in the sync, what we have mentioned, where to move. Okay. So in the move in the input folder directory department.csv. Okay. That is what we need to do. And from the source, we can still preview the data from here as well. What file we are trying to move. This is the file which we are trying to move. Okay. Sync. Now I am debug. Debug means trying to test whether my pipeline is functioning or not. Validate means all the settings are proper or not. Okay, so I will validate and then I will debug. So if you're trying to move from MS SQL, same procedure will be followed. In the source, it will become MS SQL, but then you will just select link service. You will go forward. Same procedure. Okay, same procedure. Done, successfully completed. Now see whether our pipeline is functioning or not. I will go to Data Lake Gen 2. Click over here. Folder. Yeah, this is how we have given, right? Folder, container name, folder name, and then this is my file which I was trying to move, right? So this got moved, right? Now, like, yeah, so here we are creating a pipeline, a data set, and an activity. Now there are three kinds of, I will just tell this and then we'll end this class. So in data factory, right, we have three kinds of activity: data movement activity, data transformation activity, and control flow. So I will just copy this. Yeah, so here data movement activity is copy data activity, which helps you to move the data from one post to another. Okay. And all type of source and sync is not supported. Okay, that is also important to note. So I will share this link with you guys. So here these are the source and sync is supported. So suppose if Anurag says that, yeah, Abhishek, I want to move the data from my source as like I want to move the data from data lake to sync MySQL. That is not possible. Okay. MySQL. If I select MySQL here, say in the sync, MySQL will not come, but in the source, MySQL will come. So every kind of data movement is not possible, but mostly all the movement is possible. Okay. So whenever someone is saying that, can you move the data from here to here, come to this tab and check. But in IT world, everything is possible by some workarounds, but you don't have a direct connectors. These are the connectors which is possible. You can see source and sync option over here. Data transformation activity, which helps you to transform the data. Currently, we are copying the data. So suppose if you want to transform the data, add a column, move a column, delete a row, all of that will be possible by data transformation activity. Control flow activity are the activity which helps you to perform any logical operation. Means like if I want to move multiple file, right? I am moving one file, but if I want to move 10 file, then there is a for each which you can do. So yeah, so any logical operation will be done by control flow activity. So like in the interview, people can directly ask you what is control flow activity. So control flow activity is the activity which helps you to do any sort of logical operation. We'll understand for each, we will understand this get mediated activity, all of this we will understand going forward. But you should understand there are three kinds of activity: data movement, data transformation, and control flow activity. Here I can type lookup, I can type for each. These are the different activity. So in one pipeline, you can place multiple activities, right? Which helps you to perform the overall agenda of your pipeline. So here, if I go in my architecture diagram, which I was showing you, I want to move the data from here to here, then I want to do this, then I want to do this, then I want to move, right? So I will use multiple activities to perform one operation, one pipeline operation, I will use multiple activity, and then I will make multiple data set, which is the reference point of my data. Now, like you need to publish your pipeline. If I refresh this, everything will be gone. So suppose Anumeha is working with me and I said that Anumeha, I have completed this task. But if I don't publish, if I just refresh, everything will be gone. So publish your pipeline so that everybody can see it in your environment. Okay, so just to save your work, you need to publish it. How to like without publishing, how to save it so that nobody can see it, I will tell you going forward. Before that, we need to integrate Git, but for now I'm publishing it. If you don't publish, if you just refresh, hit publish after that. If you just refresh it, right? If I don't publish, suppose if I forgot to publish, if I just refresh, everything will be gone, nothing will be here. Without, like, only link service will be here and everything will be gone. Yeah, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will upload the recording and then send you the link. Please practice it if you can before tomorrow. But tomorrow we'll connect at the same time as today. I will upload the recording and then send you the link. If you have any question, yeah, so everything is gone over here. So that's all for today's class. For today, we have practiced link service, integration runtime. We created data factory. Then we understood what is pipeline, data set, and activity. Then we understood how to move the data from one place to another. These are the homework for the tomorrow's class. I will write the homework. I will share the recording, and then let's meet tomorrow, the same time, 2 p.m. IST.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So if you don't have any doubt, thank you so much. And then whenever I'm going bit fast, if everything is not clear, you can ask me like a very simple question as well, because in this batch, few are very new, few are with bit experience, few are more than experienced than me, like few are 17 years of experience, few are very new, just like Aniket is very new, Anumeha is very new, Anurag is just like 4 to 5 years of experience, I feel. Now Sunil is 17 years of experience. So very like mixed people we have, but everything for everyone, cloud is new, right? So that is new. And then I am more experienced in cloud at least, so I will guide you. But sometimes I am daily working on this environment, sometime I might be fast. So please try to tell me that, Abhishek, where you have clicked and SQL is not clear, so you can tell me where, like, this is not clear for me. And for SQL, the very good website is W3 School, very simple website and very good website. So what, you can go over here, you can read each and every syntax. So suppose this is a syntax, you can read, and then go to your SQL server, try to practice the syntax. Go to this, try to practice the SQL. SQL is very important. Without SQL, the interview won't get clear. Okay, so people will ask you for SQL, and people will also ask you all the ETL things, right? So SQL is very important to learn. So try to learn the SQL on the side, and it can be easily learned. Okay, so if you practice SQL, right, try to go to HackerRank. Here also you can go, try to go to HackerRank, try to write some SQL syntax over here. HackerRank SQL. You can go to Lit Code as well. From there as well, you can practice SQL, but try to practice SQL. As much as you write SQL, you'll practice the SQL. Okay. Yeah, guys. So thank you so much for your time. Let's meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. IST. I will upload the recording and send you the link.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Thank you. Bye.
Will you also be sharing the nomenclature, like naming, how we can name all these?
Yeah. I will send the document in the group through which you can see like the naming convention, and also I will send the Microsoft documentation that I will share in the group, and also I will share the recording. Yeah, thank you so much. Any other question, guys? If not, yeah, so yeah, you can end the class. I'm still here if you want to ask something.
No, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.